Hi, welcome. My name is Rob Finlayson from International Admissions, and I'm joined today by my colleague Katie Leblanc from our co-op office. And we are absolutely delighted to be here with you today to talk about co-op and career readiness at Carleton University. It's a big topic, and we have a lot to get through in a fairly short amount of time. But we wanted to start by mentioning that we welcome your questions. We really believe that the information that you want to know should really drive this session. And so, from that perspective, we invite you to type your questions into the chat. We'll do our best to address them as we move through the presentation. If we're not able to do that, we'll pick them up on the back end as well, but we'll be sure to follow up with you as soon as we are able to do so. So without further ado, I'll jump right in. So welcome to the Co-op and Career Services section of our International Open House. I'm really pleased to be able to speak with you all today about this topic because this is something that Carleton does really, really well. We're recognized for this globally by being one of the top universities in Canada, a top 10 ranking actually, for graduate employability, which means a big part of the Carleton degree is actively preparing you for professional outcomes post-graduation. So we understand that you will choose a degree based on your own personal interests and that you're, of course, going to study for the love of learning, but that it's equally important that you're actively preparing for life post-graduation. And so you have those career skills and that experience that will really benefit you as you navigate academic life to professional life and to solving real world problems as well. Carleton is able to do this through a number of different programs. And of course, co-op is sort of the crown jewel of this. And we're going to dedicate a big piece of today to talk about the co-op experience. But there are other ways we do this as well, many others, in fact. I think first and foremost, we have a really vibrant campus that's full of clubs and student societies where you can get involved and connect with other students, but you can also obtain valuable leadership skills by doing this as well. So from professional students associations through to clubs and societies where you can simply assume a leadership role with different responsibilities, which you can document on our co-curricular record as well. All of these soft skills are really valuable and will help you as you navigate professional life post-graduation. Carleton offers extensive opportunities to its students for research as well. So as an undergraduate student, this is part of your degree program, but you can also get involved in additional research projects if that's something that you're interested in. If your program doesn't have co-op as an option, it's often the case that you would have access to internships as well that are built right into the degree program as well. So as a student in that particular degree, you would get these professional experiences as well. We have a whole office that's dedicated to students in terms of getting volunteer experience as well, which is also really valuable. And of course, one of the main things that people are interested in when they look at Canada is the ability to work and study simultaneously. So having a part-time job as you progress through your degree just to earn some additional money is also really educational. And our career services office can help you develop your resume, prepare for interviews, and facilitate job opportunities for you as well. So these are a few of the things that we offer. There are a few more, but I'm going to turn the floor over to Katie so she can begin to talk about co-op.
Great. Thank you, Rob. And I'm really happy today to be talking to you about Carleton's Cooperative Education Program. We are amongst the largest co-op education programs in the province of Ontario, and we're quite proud of that. Many of our programs and degrees and concentrations offer a cooperative education option, which you can pursue alongside your academic study. So what is co-op? Co-op stands for cooperative education. And what it means is that when you are studying, you're a full-time student, but on certain terms, you will be scheduled to work. And on those work terms, you will be completing full-time paid work with an employer and getting actual employment experience, either in the Ottawa area or in another area if you choose to. So what that means is when you graduate, you will have gained either 12 or 16 months of real work experience through the co-op program. Again, these are paid work terms. The rate of pay is a question that's on most people's minds at this stage. And the range of pay varies quite widely depending on the program that you're in and how senior a student you are. But it ranges from $15 an hour, which is minimum wage, all the way up to about $30 per hour. And that may change by the time you are a co-op student, but that's the range that employers are paying at this time. Next slide, please. So, Co-op, as Rob mentioned, is an integrated learning program. It is meant to allow you to take the concepts and the tools and the theories that you're learning in your academic study and apply them in a real life working experience. You would complete 3 or 4 work terms if you're in the co-op option. And each of those work terms is 4 months each of paid full time experience. Now, one of the benefits of being part of the co-op program is that it is a program. So we do have a full office of staff who are dedicated to helping you prepare for the job search, prepare for the work term, and to learn lessons along the way and reflect on the experiences that you have. We also have a dedicated team of business development staff who are out there talking to employers and bringing in job opportunities for you and making sure that we have positive relationships with employers so that they consistently come back to us year after year. And we're very proud of the relationships that we have with our employers. Next slide, please. There are a few advantages to being in the co-op program here at Carleton and related to our location in the National Capital Region in Ottawa. Again, you can apply your learning, so you can learn a little bit about what is the most relevant learning that you're getting in academics, and how is that relevant to the actual world of work. There's a lot of choice in terms of where you can work. In Ottawa, we have a really good government sector, both provincial government and federal government. We also have a great high-tech sector, and that's a very active sector for hiring co-op students. We have a good not-for-profit sector, small startups. So there's a range of opportunities for you when you work in co-op jobs here in Ottawa. You also have the choice of working outside of the Ottawa area. So there's nothing to say you have to stay in Ottawa for your work term. If you're someone who would like to either work in your home city or in another city, we do have opportunities in Montreal and in Toronto and in the Toronto area, as well as in Western Canada as well. So there's a lot of choice. The benefit of earning your work experience as a student here is that you graduate not just with work experience, but work experience in Canada. And that work experience also comes with a professional network. So you will have worked with colleagues and built good relationships with them, and then hopefully be able to acquire full-time work after you graduate here in Canada. At Carleton, our co-op program involves longer work terms. For most programs, you will have the chance to work not just for 4 months, but you will have options to work 8 months at a time, sometimes 12 months at a time, and even for some specific programs, 16 months at a time. And what that means is you can stay with one employer for all of your work terms and gain really deep experience with that employer and build a higher degree of responsibility because of your length of experience there. Or you can choose to work in a variety of different employment situations and learn a little bit about different work experiences, different workplaces through the co-op program. Next slide, please. Some other advantages of being in the co-op program, as I said, we have a very supportive staff specifically dedicated to the co-op program, and a large team of business development coordinators who are in charge of our employer relationships. So they are constantly out there networking with potential employers, asking for job postings, convincing employers of the value of hiring co-op students. So we take care of a lot of that legwork for you. And we also support you in conducting your own job search. So if you would prefer to look for jobs that are not posted on the job board through co-op, we will support you and train you in how to do that. Co-op really offers the ability to explore different career options. So if you're not really sure how you want to apply your degree and what you would like to do when you graduate, this is a really great way to try different things before you decide what you'd like to focus on. It's a great chance to reduce student debt. As I said, co-op employment is paid. You're not working for free, so you are earning an income while you're a co-op student on a work term. And if you complete all of the requirements that are involved with the co-op program, you earn the co-op designation, which is noted on your degree at graduation. Next slide. So, a lot of students wonder what their work study pattern is when they start in the co op program. In what terms will I be working, and in what terms will I be studying? This gives you an example of what your schedule or your work study pattern might look like in years 1 through 5 as a co op student. This is just a sample. Every program has a different established work study pattern, but this gives you some idea of what you might expect. So, all 3 terms throughout the year are represented here. Fall is represented by the leaf. We have a snowy winter term and a sunny summer term. So you can see here in this student's work study pattern, they are doing their first work term, noted by the W, in the summer term after 3rd year, and then subsequent work terms or study terms from there. So this participation in co-op does extend your degree program, normally by either 1 or 2 terms. With the co-op program being quite large, you're still graduating with colleagues because a lot of students are participating in co-op as well, and will be graduating at some point in year 5 as opposed to the usual year 4. So there is a list of work study patterns on our co-op website. I'm just going to paste the co-op website into the chat here in case you're wondering about what programs are available and what work study patterns look like. Next slide, please.
Katie, we had one question from Juan, I think. He was just asking about when co-op would begin, after 8 months or sooner.
Right. So the answer varies depending on the program, but for the most part, no students are doing co-op work terms during first year. So it would not be until summer after 2nd year that any student is doing a work term. Most students are taking our Co-op 1000 preparatory course in the fall or winter of 2nd year. And that's your first experience with the co-op program, your first exposure to the co-op program. And after you complete Co-op 1000 successfully, at that point, you're ready to start looking for co-op jobs. So again, it's usually summer after 2nd year. And depending on the program, you might be working 4 months at that time, or you might be scheduled to work 8 or longer.
And Katie, would you say one of the benefits of waiting, I guess, is really students are acquiring a baseline of knowledge in their respective fields, so they really have a basis to work in a professional context. It's a proper project, if you will.
That's right. By then, you will have acquired a few group projects and done some interesting work as part of your classes. So, employers know that students in the co op program might not have any work experience in the past, and that's okay. We help you build a resume and talk about the projects that you're doing in your academics that are applicable to employment situations too. So, employers are interested in you, even though you might be a fairly junior student. But we do like to see that every student has completed first year with a certain grade point average before entering the co-op program. And that's something that our employers expect too. They expect that you've done some work, that you've kind of, done your first year of academics and, okay, like this is the program that I would like to pursue. And you've demonstrated some commitment to your program by that time. This next slide shows a few of the employers that we've worked with in the past. These are all employers who have hired our students over the years, and you probably recognize some of these names. There are some government employers represented here, some private sector, large engineering firms, large accounting firms, and large technology firms as well. So, as I said, we have a full range of employment opportunities, everything from very large headquarters situated here in Ottawa or in the Greater Toronto area, all the way to small startups, not-for-profits, and smaller organizations. But this gives you some sense of the employers we've worked with before. Now, there's no guarantees that every one of these employers will be posting jobs in every single term in the future, but it's just to give you an idea of the range of employers that we work with. Next slide. So we often ask our students why they felt co-op was valuable for them. So this is a testimonial from an IT student who really appreciated the opportunity to solidify their career plans by participating in co-op and trying different things. And then we have another testimonial from a student talking about the meaningful nature of the work that they did, which points out that as a co-op student, you are often doing work that's at the same level as people who have graduated or people who have been out there in the field for some time. So the work that you're doing might be more junior and more introductory, but is just as meaningful as the work that your full-time colleagues are doing. Now, again, as Rob mentioned at the beginning of the session, there is a lot of opportunity for employability support here at Carleton. Employability, or your ability to gain full-time work after graduation, is something that's very important to the cooperative education program and career services and many of the faculties on campus. So in addition to co-op, you have opportunities to do internships, whether those be domestic or international. There are also exchange programs. Our career services office partners with co-op in order to do job search support activities, networking workshops, real life networking nights. We invite employers to campus all the time to do information sessions and networking nights. And we also offer support with how to write a resume, how to do an interview properly. And we all need interview practice anytime we have an interview, and that's offered as part of our standard services. There are also volunteer opportunities which you can access at Carleton and help develop your skills and build a resume that way. In addition to that, we have career planning, major exploration, job boards, and career fairs to help you explore careers here in Canada.
Yeah, there's a lot. I think there's so much more we could speak about, Katie.
I know.
Some of the things you mentioned sparked some questions for me, but I do see one that's come through. So we'll start there maybe first. Gabriel was just asking about the difference between being a co op or a full time student. And I guess I just wanted to mention, if you're a co op student, that's actually considered part of your degree program. So it's a work term, but it's really part of your degree at the same time. So it's entwined, if you will. And as Katie mentioned, yes, it can add a little bit of extra time to your degree, but we hear time and again from our co op students, I think, as they approach graduation, being able to finish a degree with a relevant resume with recent professional experience and actual references that they can leverage for job hunting purposes is just so invaluable. So it's really time well spent. Definitely something to keep in mind in all kinds of different
Mhm.
experiences. One other thing, Katie, I remember speaking with one of our former international students who had done a co-op term. I think it was in her home city of Lagos, based on a family contact she had with one of the petroleum companies based there. So I think she was able to provide a bridge between that organization and the co-op office to create that opportunity. Have you seen that type of thing happen for students?
We see that all the time. So that's part of the Co-op 1000 course, is helping students learn how to conduct a job search of their own. So if there is a specific niche location or a niche industry that you would like to work in that's quite unique and you're not seeing that reflected on the job board, you can conduct your own job search and come to us with a proposal of the job that you would like to pursue as co-op. It does need to meet the criteria of co-op. So it has to be full-time, has to be paid, has to be supervised, because we want it to be a learning experience as well as a work experience. And then the employer has to agree to evaluate you and some of the other criteria for co-op terms. But that happens all the time. Quite a large proportion of our work terms are secured by students themselves.
That's really interesting. And something you said earlier really resonated with me as well. But that is, I think when students start a degree program, they may have a specific idea of the type of work they'd like to do when they graduate. But I think one of the benefits of different work experiences is really getting to try different ways of applying theoretical knowledge in a professional context. And I guess through that exploration, you have a better appreciation for what you might actually find interesting.
That's right. And it's hard to say what you might find interesting, right? And sometimes it's hard when you start in a program to understand how that program is applicable to the work world. So, certain degree programs, you can see that clear line between what you're learning and how you might apply that learning in the workplace. And for other programs, that clear line is not really there, right? So, you might really be interested in the academics that you're studying, but not understand how those concepts will apply in the workplace. So co-op gives you some of those answers and might open up worlds that you haven't thought about before for yourself. So it's great to be as flexible as possible when you're applying to jobs in co-op. what's written in the job posting. When you look at a job posting and think, I don't know if that really interests me, you never know what might happen. If you apply and get the job, you might be surprised at how interesting it is to you and how enlightening it can be and how much it can factor into your career plans.
Those are wonderful points. I note we have mere seconds of this session left, so I'll just, I guess, conclude by saying that we're available to continue to answer your questions. If we weren't able to address your questions now, we'll get back to you in the private chat. And of course, you can visit the international admissions table and speak with me and my colleagues going forward for the rest of the event. My follow-up information is available as well as Katie's. I know we're both really excited to continue to answer your questions beyond now as you navigate your university choices. To conclude, Carleton has wonderful opportunities for you to get professional experience as you approach graduation, and we'll support you every step of the way.